Hi everyone, we're about halfway through Passion Week, and I hope it's been a blessing time for you so far, and you've been blessed by these video uploads. Today's passage is Matthew 26, verses 1 through 5, and then we're going to skip down to verses 14 to 16. Starting from verse 1, when Jesus had finished all these sayings, he said to his disciples, "You know that after 2 days the Passover is coming, and the Son of Man will be delivered up to be crucified." Then the chief priests and the elders of the people gathered in the palace of the high priest, whose name was Caiaphas, and plotted together in order to arrest Jesus by stealth and kill him. But they said, "Not during the feast, lest there be an uproar among the people." Then one of the 12, whose name was Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priests and said, "What will you give me if I deliver him over to you?" And they paid him 30 pieces of silver. And from that moment, he sought an opportunity to betray him. This is the word of the Lord. Yesterday's weather was absolutely beautiful. It was gorgeous outside. And being stuck at home for so long, it made me realize I take some things for granted, and my family takes some things for granted too. One of the things I take for granted is being able to just go out to eat and to a restaurant with my family or my friends and just being able to dine in, or just being able to go run an errand without having to worry about anything. My kids miss being able to go to the park and go outside and play with their friends. And not me, but I'm sure some of you miss being able to go to the gym and working out. And sometimes I think maybe some of us take our faith for granted. What do I mean? Well, the church traditionally calls Wednesday of Holy Week Spy Wednesday. And it's a day that was thought to be the day when Judas Iscariot conspired with the chief priests and the elders and the religious authorities to betray Jesus. And we look at Judas now and we think, well, he's obviously a traitor. He's obviously did not have any love or did not really know Jesus. And so easily we look back and we judge him. And we say, that's not me. But that's not me. I would never betray Jesus like that. Well, let's take a look at Judas's life. We see that Judas was a follower of Jesus. Remember, he was one of the 12 disciples. He left everything behind in order to follow Jesus. He was active in ministry. He heard Jesus' teachings. He heard the Sermon on the Mount. He heard the warnings that Jesus gave to the Pharisees. He heard the parables that Jesus taught to the crowds. And he was also privy to the lessons behind the parables. He heard stories and teachings that the crowds were not privy to, along with the other disciples. Judas also saw miracles being performed. He was there when Jesus calmed the storm. He was there when the 5,000 were being fed. In fact, Judas was one of the guys who collected the baskets of leftover food. And he was there when Jesus cast out demons from those who were possessed. See, Judas was active in ministry. He was there and he saw Jesus' teachings and the miracles that Jesus performed. And you see, the lesson that we learn from Judas is this: we must guard our hearts lest we drift away. The love of other things, the love of money or whatever it may be, can easily crowd out our love for Jesus. You see, when Judas heard Jesus' words, he heard not the words of life, but the ringing of silver coins. The number of sermons we've heard, the activity in the church, our attendance at retreats, mission trips, even maybe ministry itself, are no guarantee of continued faithfulness. We can easily take for granted and just assume, our thoughts, I'm going to be faithful. Of course I'm going to be faithful. I'm a Christian. But we cannot assume that we are going to be faithful. You see, every new day is a fight. Every new day is a new battle. But we can also be thankful that the Lord's mercies are new every morning. His steadfast love never ceases. His steadfast love never comes to an end. See, the gospel message is new and fresh and available to us every single morning, every single day. And so I'd ask, let's spend some time reflecting. Am I fighting today? Am I fighting today I fought yesterday, or maybe I didn't fight yesterday, but today is a new day. Am I fighting today? Do I worship Jesus outside of Sunday? Am I following after him, reading his teachings, spending time with him in intimate prayer and intimate communion? Am I cultivating my relationship with the Lord throughout the week, today? And let's pray. Lord, I want to follow you after you. I want to follow after you today, every single day. I want to follow you because you are life, not because I can get something. Not because when I look into your words, it is a contract where I give you something and you give me something, but because I love you. I want to follow after you today. Lord, help me to do that. So let's make that our prayer for today and for tomorrow and for the day after and every day, not just for the rest of Passion Week, but for the rest of our lives.